What's up guys, Jason here. In this video I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple and efficient Minecraft Bedrock raid farm. This farm works on 1.21 and on all platforms of Minecraft Bedrock, whether you play on a phone, tablet, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, or PC. As you guys can see here, this farm quickly produces a lot of great loot such as emeralds, totems, and enchanted books. It also produces a lot of XP. The materials list for this farm is in the description. The first step is to go to a pillager outpost. The pillager outpost should be at least 100 blocks away from any villages. Now cover all ground that is within about 3 blocks of the pillager outpost with leaves. These leaves will prevent mobs from spawning on this area. By the way, it's fine if the ground around your pillager outpost is different than mine. Just make sure you cover it with leaves. Once you're done covering all ground within about 3 blocks of the pillager outpost, your pillager outpost should look like this. The next step is to go up here. Now break any chests that are on this level. After you have done that, place a glass pane at each of these spots. By doing this, you will be able to find the pillager spawn spot at this outpost. After you're done placing those glass panes, go back about 30 blocks from the pillager outpost. Now wait for pillagers to spawn in the glass panes. If pillagers don't spawn in the glass panes for you, try killing any pillagers in the nearby area. If you don't want to do that, another option is to try switching your world difficulty to peaceful and then to hard. Once pillagers have spawned in the glass panes, go over here. Then break all the glass panes except for the glass panes that are surrounding the pillagers. The spot where those pillagers are standing is the pillager spawn spot at this outpost. The next step is to replace the southeast block of this pillager spawn spot with a different solid block. To find the southeast block, first open an empty locator map. Now position yourself so that the arrow is pointing towards the top of the map. As you guys can see here, my arrow is pointing towards the top of the map. Now turn until the arrow is pointing towards the right side of the map. This direction is east. Now turn until the arrow is pointing towards the bottom of the map. This direction is south. Since this direction is south and this direction is east, I know that the southeast block of my pillager spawn spot is this one. By the way, it's really important that you mark the correct spot. Now break the other 3 blocks that are under the glass panes. The next step is to break these blocks that are around the glass panes. After you have done that, place a different solid block at each of these spots. By the way, you can use any type of solid block except for solid blocks that burn. A couple examples of solid blocks that don't burn are smooth stone or cobblestone. Now kill these pillagers. Then break these glass panes. The next step is to break the pillager outpost. Once you're done breaking the pillager outpost, cover this ground area with leaves. This will prevent mobs from spawning down here. After you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to place 3 solid blocks in this corner. 1, 2, 3. Now go down here. Then place 3 solid blocks down here as well. 1, 2, 3. Once you have done that, extend that wall around this area. After you are done placing those blocks, the farm should look like that. The next step is to place 4 blocks down here. Now break this block. Then place a piston over here. Make sure that piston is facing this way. Then break this block. Now go out here. Then place 2 blocks over here. After you have done that, go back into this chamber. Then place a tripwire hook over here and a tripwire hook over here. Now place string on this block. The next step is to go behind this piston. Then place 3 blocks over here. Now place 5 redstone like this. This tripwire hook piston system will cause pillagers that spawn over there to be pushed down there. The next step is to place leaves at each of these spots. Those leaves will prevent raid mobs from spawning on those areas. The next step is to face the wall that is opposite of that piston. Now break these 3 blocks. Then go out here. Now place a cobblestone wall at this spot. Then place 3 blocks over here, 2 blocks over here, and 3 blocks over here. The next step is to place 4 blocks over here. Now extend that 4 block high wall around this area. After you have done that, place 2 signs over here. Now place a solid block at this spot. Then place water in this corner. As you guys can see there, that water should flow like that. It'll push pillagers that fall down there over here. Now place a block over here. Then go to this side. Now place 6 solid blocks like this. Then break this block. Now place a solid block at each of these spots. This area will be later used to create a bubble column to transport pillagers up to the trident killer. The next step is to place a leaf block at each of these spots. The next step is to go to this side. You should be facing the tripwire hook that is over there. Now place 2 leaves at this spot. Then place 26 leaves over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After you're done placing those 26 leaves, make sure you're still facing that direction. Now place 6 leaves over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then turn to the left. Now place a leaf block at this spot. Then face the opposite direction. Now place 2 leaves over here. After you have done that, fill in the outline with leaves. The next step is to go to the ground. Now place leaves from the ground to that spot. After you have done that, place vines on this side of this pillar. These vines will allow you to easily access the top part of this farm. The next step is to place a piston at each of these spots. Make sure your pistons face the correct directions. Now place a redstone torch at each of these spots. Now place an observer over here. Make sure the top arrow of that observer is facing that piston. Then place another observer over here. The top arrow of that observer should be facing that piston. Now place an observer at this spot. Make sure the top arrow of that observer is facing that piston. Finally, place an observer over here. The top arrow of that observer should be facing that piston. It's really important that you place all the pistons, redstone torches, and observers correctly. The next step is to place 4 blocks over here. Then place 3 over here, and 3 on this side as well. Now throw a trident at that piston. By the way, you can use a trident with any level of durability because the trident will never break in this farm. Now place a lever over here. Then flick it down. Once the pistons stop moving, flick it up. As you guys can see there, that should cause those pistons to move around infinitely. That will be the trident killer in this farm. It will automatically kill all the mobs. Now flick this lever down to shut the trident killer off. The next step is to place a glass block at each of these spots. After you have done that, place a layer of solid blocks over here. Now place 3 blocks over here. 1 over here, 1 over here, 1 at this spot, and 3 over here. Then go to this side. Now place a layer of solid blocks over here. Then go to the back. Then place a layer of solid blocks over here. Finally, go to this side. Then place a layer of solid blocks over here. The next step is to count down 8 blocks from this spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then place 2 leaves over here. Then place 5 leaves over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After you have done that, place 2 chests over here. Then crouch down and place 2 chests over here as well. Now crouch down and place a hopper at each of these spots. Make sure the nozzles of those hoppers are pointing downwards. Now crouch down and place 2 chests over here. And 2 chests on this side as well. Then crouch down and place 2 hoppers over here. Make sure the nozzles of those hoppers are pointing downwards. Then crouch down and place 2 chests on those hoppers. Then crouch down and place a hopper at this spot. Make sure the nozzle of that hopper is pointing downwards. Now crouch down and place a rail on this hopper. By the way, it does not matter what direction your rail is facing. Then place a minecart hopper at this spot. Make sure this minecart hopper is under one of the 4 blocks of the trident killer floor. Now place a leaf block at each of these spots. That will be the collection system in this farm. The minecart hopper will collect loot through the trident killer floor. The loot will then get funneled by those hoppers down into those chests. The next step is to place a solid block at each of these spots. Now place 18 solid blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After you have placed those 18 solid blocks, go back down here. Now place 18 solid blocks at each of these other spots. After you are done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to place 7 solid blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now go to this side. Then place 7 solid blocks over here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now fill in the outline with solid blocks. Once you're done creating that platform, place 8 solid blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now extend the 8 block high wall around that platform. After you're done creating those walls, the farm should look like that. The next step is to go down here. Then place 3 solid blocks over here. 1, 2, 3. The next step is to crouch down and place 4 signs over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now crouch down and place 3 signs over here. 1, 2, 3. Then crouch down and place 2 signs over here. 1, 2. Finally, place a sign at this spot. After you're done with that step, place lava over here. As you guys can see there, that lava should flow like that. This lava will kill all the ravagers. Now place 4 solid blocks over here. The next step is to break these 2 blocks. Now turn to this side. Then break these 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then break this block and this block. After you have done that, break these 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now place 8 stairs over here. Then place a stair at this spot and a stair over here. Now place 8 stairs over here. The next step is to create an infinite water source on this wall. To do that, first place blocks in this formation. Then place water over here and water over here. Now place water in each stair. Then fill in and break the infinite water source. As you guys can see there, all that water should flow like that. It will push the raid mobs that spawn up here into the kill chamber. The next step is to place a sign at this spot. Now go down here. Now place 51 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After you're done placing those 51 blocks, go back down here. Then place 51 blocks over here and over here as well. Once you're done with that step, go back down here. Then place 29 blocks at this spot. Then place 19 blocks over here. After you're done with that step, place a block at each of these spots. Now place 3 blocks over here. Then extend that 3-block high wall around this area. Once you have done that, place 3 blocks over here. Then place water at this spot. As you guys can see there, that water should flow like that. Now go down this tube. Then place kelp from this spot all the way to the top. That kelp will turn all the water into water source blocks so we can make a bubble column. Now go down to the bottom. Then break the bottom kelp. As you guys can see there, that should cause all the kelp to break. Now replace this block with soul sand. As you guys can see here, that should create a bubble column. This bubble column will push pillagers up here. The next step is to place 3 solid blocks over here. 1, 2, 3. Now place leaves at each of these spots. After you have done that, place leaves at each of these spots as well. These leaves will prevent raid mobs from spawning on this area. Now go down here. Then place leaves at each of these spots. The next step is to place 8 solid blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now place a solid block at this spot. Then place a bed over here. After you have placed that bed, break these solid blocks. The next step is to place 2 leaves over here. Then place 3 leaves over here, and 1 at this spot. Now place 2 leaves at each of these spots. The next step is to bring a villager over there. One easy way you can bring a villager up here in survival mode is by using a bow and lead and bubble column. To do that, first place 3 blocks over here. Now go down to the ground. Then create a tube from here all the way to the top height of the villager chamber. Once you have created that tube, go back down to the bottom. Now break 2 blocks on one side. Then place 2 blocks over here, and 2 blocks over here. Now place a block at this spot. Then place 2 signs over here. Now go back to the top. Now create some walls around this area. Then place a sign over here. After you have done that, place water at this spot. As you guys can see there, that water should flow like that. Now go down to the bottom of this tube. Then place kelp from here all the way to the top. After you're done with that step, break the bottom kelp. Now replace this block with soul sand. As you guys can see there, that will create a bubble column. After you're done making that bubble column, I recommend you place some blocks over here to enclose this area. This will help you prevent the villager from escaping. At this point, go look for a villager. Once you have found a villager, place a boat next to it. Then push the villager into the boat. Now attach a lead to the boat. Then slowly walk over to the farm. Don't walk too fast, otherwise the lead will break. If that happens, you can reattach it. If you need to pull a villager up a ledge, place some water. Then pull the boat up the water. Once you have brought your villager over here, place 4 blocks over here. Then break the boat. Then push the villager into the bubble column. As you guys can see there, it will get sent up to the top. Once the villager is in there, break the bubble column and any other blocks you place to get the villager in there. It's really important that you break any blocks that you place to get the villager up there. That will prevent raid mobs from spawning outside the farm. After you're done getting rid of the bubble column, wait for it to turn nighttime. Once it is nighttime, the villager will sleep in that bed. If you can't get the villager to sleep in that bed, try breaking all beds at the village or villager breeder you got the villager from. Now place 2 leaves over here. By the way, it's really important that you create this leaf block chamber the exact same way that I did in this video. That will prevent raid mobs from spawning on the bed. As you guys can see here, once it is daytime, the villager will get up and its head will be stuck in leaves. By having a villager linked to a bed up here, this area will get designated as a village. That will cause raids to start whenever you have bad omen. The final step is to crouch down and place leaves at each of these spots. Those leaves will prevent raid mobs from spawning on the chests. I am now going to do a quick fly around so you can check and make sure you've made this raid farm correctly. Down here there should be this pillager spawning chamber. The bottom of this chamber should have water that flows over there. Over here there should be the bubble column. Make sure there's a gap for water to flow over here. That is necessary for pillagers to get pulled into the bubble column. Up here there should be this trident killer and collection system. Up here there should be this villager chamber. Finally up here there should be this platform for raid mobs to spawn on. Make sure the water on this platform and the water from the bubble column flows towards this kill chamber. I am now going to show you how to use this raid farm. To use it, first go up here. Now flick this lever up to activate the trident killer. Then wait for pillagers to spawn. Pillagers will spawn at the pillager spawn spot, then get pushed off by that piston. They'll then get pushed into the bubble column and pushed into this trident killer. Whenever a pillager falls into the trident killer, it will get automatically killed. Its loot will get funneled down into the collection's chest. Whenever a pillager captain is killed, it will drop an ominous potion. You'll need an ominous potion to start a raid. Whenever you want to check the chests for an ominous potion, go down here. As you guys can see here, I got some ominous potions. Once you have at least one ominous potion, go back up here. Then stand at this spot. Now drink an ominous potion. As you guys can see here, that will give you the raid omen effect. After about 30 seconds, a raid will start. Raid mobs will spawn up there, then get pushed over to the kill chamber. The ravagers will get killed by the lava. The other raid mobs will fall into this trident killer. In this trident killer, they will automatically be killed. You will collect the XP over here, and their loot will get funneled down into the collection system. This farm is a great easy way to get loot and XP. If you want to get more loot at a time from this farm, you can hold a sword that is enchanted with looting 3. The looting 3 effect will be applied to the trident. Whenever you're done using this farm, flick this lever down to shut the trident killer off. You can then collect the loot down here. I'm now going to show you all one easy way you can get rid of loot that you don't want. To do that, first place 3 leaves over here. 1, 2, 3. Now place sand over here and a cactus at this spot. By throwing loot onto the cactus, the loot will disappear. After you're done getting rid of the loot you don't want, make sure to break this cactus and the sand. That'll prevent raid mobs from spawning outside the farm. If this farm does not work for you, try switching your world difficulty to peaceful and then to hard. Also, try setting your world simulation distance to 4 chunks. You can do that by leaving your world, then going into the world settings. If any raid mobs spawn outside the farm for you, try covering all areas where they spawn outside the farm with leaves. If you want to expand the collection system in this farm, you can add more hoppers and chests. If you do that, remember to cover the chests with leaves. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this simple and efficient Minecraft Bedrock raid farm. Please like, comment, subscribe, and check out my other Minecraft videos. Thanks for watching.